Hello. Hi. Can you hear us? Say purple if you can hear us. Purple. Perfect.
Wow. Many purple. Can you also see us?
Okay, say green if you can see us.
How many?
Green. Perfect.
How many fingers am I holding up if you can see us? The answer is 4.
I think we can trust that it's all working. Hi, hello, welcome to this live Q&A session brought to you by Waterstones and HarperCollins. My name is Laura Katie. I am an author, makeup artist and content creator, and today I am sat here with Derek Landy to discuss his new book, Dead or Alive. Shall we just jump right?
Yeah, we should jump right in.
We will jump right in because we have about 15 million questions to get through.
About that. So we're gonna shoot. We have them all on the page. If we have time at the end, we will look at the chat. And I mean, we're going to be looking at the chat anyway, just to see how you react. No, you are not my fan, John the Strange.
What a great surname.
I do like the surname.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. Yeah, we can see your little messages popping up, but they're very, very small down there. We can see them. So keep sending them in.
Okay.
So I just...
Yes, go ahead, Laura.
Okay,
go
right.
Go ahead.
So this first
Ask me literally anything.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm trying. Okay.
Number 1 question, go.
Okay, this is...
The first one, go. Anything at all. Sorry, am I interrupting?
Little bit. You've got to throw enemy off. Just a smidge. Okay, sorry. Just a smidge.
Sorry.
Okay. This first one is from Katie, who says, what are your plans for writing once the series has ended?
Well, good. Start with an easy one, Katie. Why don't you?
It came with an emoticon.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry, an emoji. See? A little smiling face. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like, yeah. Yeah, my plans for writing after Skulduggery, to be honest, it'll probably be something for an older audience, for grown-ups, probably horror of some description. I do like coming back to horror. That is one of my favorite genres. I might do something for the Skulduggery age group afterwards, like immediately afterwards. It all depends on the idea that grabs me most. At the moment, in between Skulduggeries, I am writing a few short stories, non-Skulduggery short stories that I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but yeah, it's fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Good. Yes. Okay. This is from Paulina. What do you do when you hit writer's block?
It hits me right back. And knees me in the groin.
Oh Lord.
And stomps on my foot.
Wow.
So what you have to do, there is a whole argument to be had on whether or not writer's block as a thing exists. But essentially, I've been there where for months at a time I haven't been able to write. And it starts small, it starts with a day, and then it becomes a few days, then it becomes a week, and then it's 2 weeks, and then you've suddenly gone a month without actually being able to write anything. And the more it happens, the longer it goes on, the worse it becomes, because you put too much pressure on yourself. And I always go back to the Bruce Lee philosophy of be like water. In a stream, if there's a boulder ahead of it, eventually, through erosion, it'll break through it, but that's not going to be doing you any good in the short term. So you have to be like water. You have to flow around the problem. Be cool, be relaxed. You have an obstacle in front of you. Don't panic. Don't put pressure. There's enough pressure on you anyway, without you adding to it. So just be like water. Flow around it. Go for a walk. Read a book, watch a movie, take time off, relax, and then remember why you write. And you write because you love it. You write because you have fun. And fun is contagious in a whole dose of ways. and you just have to let it overcome you. We have a dog in here.
She just brought us her teddy bear. So, thank you,
thank
you, sweetheart.
Oh, she's so
You're
cute.
so cute. That was a good answer. Well done.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, this is from Ryan. I think it's Ryan. If I get any of the names, if I pronounce them wrong, I apologize in advance. Rian?
Rian.
You'd say Rian?
Well, it depends.
Rian.
Rian.
This is from Rian/Ryan, who says, what books did you read growing up?
I read a series of books called The Three Investigators, as well as The Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Secret Seven, Famous Five. Basically mystery stories about teen detectives, which were really the only thing available to my age group at the time. Then because we didn't have the middle grade, or whatever middle grade is, I still don't know. We didn't have
YA, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't have YA as such.
There was no Twilight.
There was no Twilight. There was like The Chocolate War and Beyond the Chocolate War, which are fantastic books by Robert Cormier or Cormier. But when I was about 11 or 12, I went on to Stephen King and James Herbert and Sean Hudson and Clive Barker. And
so you just jumped from children's books straight into
the most hardcore horror
books for grown-ups,
which is why I am.
It says a lot about
you. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I read.
Okay. Well, this is from Catherine from Coventry. Are you ever influenced by your readers' interpretations of your characters? Do they ever make you change what the characters might do?
No. The one thing I had to stop myself from doing is going online and reading the forums, and like on one level that was so much fun because I saw the enthusiasm out there, and it made me it reinvigorated me, and it made me remember why I'm writing and why these characters are important to certain people. So on one level it was hugely advantageous, but then I started to back away from that once I realized that the readers were obviously coming up with their own theories about who a character was, what the secret, the backstory, what the twist might be, and I didn't want to get to the point where I would I had a plan and someone had guessed the outcome, that guessed a secret, and then I didn't want to get to the point where I would have to make a decision to change something in my original plan because someone had guessed it. And of course they've guessed it. It's because the story is geared towards it. Everything is geared towards this particular point. So really it's the logical conclusion. But I didn't want to make that choice. So I stopped reading the reader interpretations, and I haven't gone back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is from Sam in Rushden.
Hi, Sam.
Okay, it starts off with, Hail Derek, our Lord and Saviour. Okay, Sam, you're not off to a great start, okay?
I like it.
No. I've been reading these books for 11 years and I've always wanted to know which taken name is your favourite. P.S. My taken name would be a Scarecrow Cowardly. What do you think? Love you. I love that name.
Scarecrow.
I think that's great.
It's like two of the best things about The Wizard of Oz. If you only could have like Flying Monkey in there, maybe that can be your middle name. What
about Dorothy or Toto or Wicked Witch or the Wizard?
The Wizard of what?
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Ah.
Because.
The Wizard of what?
Because of the wonderful things he does.
What's
the question? The question was, which taken name you've come up with is your favourite?
Obviously, Skulduggery.
That is good. It's a good one.
Ghastly, Bespoke, Chinosaurus, Tanith Lobe, Mr. Bliss, and Serpine all came within 5 minutes of that. But the most important one after that initial blast of good names was Valkyries. And I'd say I got 3/4 of the way through the first book, and I still didn't have the name that she would take. And I knew that it was important because it had to, from the second book on, it would be Skulduggery, Peasant, and whoever her name was. So it was vitally important that I get it right. It needed to be a cool name, but it also needed to be a practical name. It needed to be close enough to a normal name that it wouldn't be stupid, because you, the reader, would have to live with this person for the next 9 books.
You didn't want to go to like a Dickensian, where the characters, their names coincidentally kind of tell you about their personality.
Yeah, I mean, I lean into that a bit, but but didn't want it to be a crutch that I would need for writing, essentially.
Okay. So Daniel from Flitwick asks, how many of the dead men are actually Irish?
I think all of them.
All of them.
I think so.
Can you name all of your dead men?
Of course I can.
Go for it.
So the Peasant Ghastly, Bespoke, Miss Anton Shudder, Saracen Rue, Dexter Vex, and Hopeless and or Larrikin. They kind of switch, and Larrikin is like a substitute that comes in. We've got a dog just.
The dog's trying to eat the questions. No, not for you.
But I think they are all Irish. Now, if we ever get a movie made, I reserve the right to change anyone's nationality depending on the actor. So,
yeah. Okay, so this is from Kieran in Birmingham. Have any fan theories ever made it into the books? Kind of hails back to the other question.
No. Well, yes, because sometimes the fan theories are right. They have guessed what was going to happen. But no, it wasn't. It doesn't happen the other way around. I don't. I didn't. Sorry, this dog is biting me. I wasn't.
There is no dog.
Be the theory and go, ooh, that might work. I'm kind of, laissez-faire about the whole
Your what, sorry?
plot line thing. But I do have my pillars, and they are rock solid. So nothing, even if someone guesses correctly, this is definitely how the story is going to go. Dog, I swear to God, if you don't stop.
I'm telling you, there is no dog there.
The gums are exposed and all the teeth are. Anyway.
Right. So these next few are from Owen. So there's a few here.
Okay.
So the first one. As you're nearing the end of phase 2, are you looking forward to seeing fans' reactions to the finale?
Yes, hugely. I was really looking forward to it in the Dying of the Light.
Which was the end of phase 1.
But with this one, I mean, especially with the end of phase 2, the end of the series, where you're going to see most everything wrapped up. I can't wait until you get to experience what I've had in my head. Now, I'm very used to having secrets in my head for years. I mean, the secret we discovered at the very end of Seasons of War. Seasons of War?
Seasons of War. That was the last book.
Yeah. Seasons of War. That was in my head in 2005.
Wait, what happened at the end of that book? Oh, yeah.
So
fake fan.
So 2005. So that was 16 years, was it? Yeah, 16 years.
2007.
Oh no,
No.
2020. Oh my God, you just sneezed.
Oh, the dog just sneezed all over us. That was disgusting.
Okay, so 15 years, yeah. So I quite look forward to the revelations. Dog, seriously. Okay. Next question, please, Lola.
Okay. What's been your favourite memory of a book launch? Too much excitement for me. Can't handle it.
The Requiem was
Oh,
good.
that was fun.
The Requiem ball at the end of Dog.
Stop sneezing
Oh
on
my
us.
God, we're gonna have to put you outside. Yeah, at the end of phase 1, that was a big. Was it end of phase 1?
Yeah, because it was to launch The Dying of the Light.
Yes,
and
yeah.
you did it in the same place that you launched the first book.
That's right.
So it was a nice full circle moment.
This was an underground, well, like a cellar type of.
Yeah,
thing.
it was underground.
It was awesome. It was, yeah, it was cool. But yeah, it's yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question 3 from Owen is: if you could bring back one character you've killed, who would it be and why? Spoilers.
Would probably say stop.
You want a slaw? Here, have a slaw. Have the slaw.
Okay.
Leave mommy and daddy alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably Serpine, like the original Serpine, like Skulduggery's universe Serpine. I wish I hadn't ended him, because I like the idea of reappearing villains. It's just I have a habit of killing them. So now you're just staring at the window.
Now she's just Blair Witching.
See, now I miss the attention.
Okay, and the last one from Owen: is there a chance we'll ever go back to Skullduggery's world after phase 2?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not making a commitment about that, but I mean, at the very least, there are short stories that I still find fun.
So you could dip back into that universe at any time.
For like charity or whatever.
World Book Day.
World Book Day, yeah. So, but I mean, whether or not it'll be stories featuring any of the characters we're used to, I don't know. I used to say I wouldn't be interested in writing these books if it didn't have Valkyrie in it. And now I'm don't say that anymore. And in fact, I don't even say Skullduggery.
Well, that's worrying.
Because the world is interesting and all the backstory stuff. It is, all the lore. It gets my imagination going. So
well, the fact that you say that you could write, a story without Skullduggery and Valkyrie in it would imply that they are now expendable.
Everyone's expendable.
Yes, but you wouldn't expect Skullduggery Pleasant to be expendable in a book called Skullduggery Pleasant, which is worrying because the characters that we kind of assume are safe, you're now saying there's no possibility that they're safe at all.
Everyone is expendable.
Oh no, you cheeky boy. Okay, right. Martha would like to know, could Darkess edit her own genome and others? I think it would be pretty cool.
Yes, she could. But in order to do that, she would have to learn all about the genome. Now, she could do that as well. It just wouldn't be easy. She had access to a remnant, and so she put it down a certain character's throat, had it absorb all of that information, dragged it out and absorbed it herself, but she doesn't have access to, that's the only remnant she had access to. But in theory, yes, it's just she would need to know every last thing about the genome and how to use magic to affect it. But once she had that, then absolutely, because she can do anything.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is from Natalie. Which of your books is your favorite and why? And then also, which of your movie props is your favorite and why? So first off, which of your books is your favorite? Stop that. Stop it. Okay, right. I'm going to confiscate.
No, sloppy.
Okay, well, stop messing around then.
Okay, I promise.
Okay, I'm trusting you to be good.
Okay.
Okay. Which
of my books is my
your
favorite?
favorite and why?
The first one, always hate it. The first one for sentimental reasons.
I know.
Probably The Dying of the Lights.
Because
it did exactly what I wanted it to do. And it gave the readers a convincing enough ending so that they didn't expect a book 10.
okay.
And that wasn't easy to do, but of course I'm a master. So.
And you left some secrets unanswered as well.
Oh yes.
So it got to book 9, and everyone thought, right, well, guess we're never going to get an answer to that.
Yeah. And I still subscribe to that philosophy. When
you don't need to know.
When we get to the end of book 15, there are things you still won't know.
You are a cruel man.
I am. Yeah.
You really are. Yeah. Okay, right. This is from again from Natalie. Which one of your movie props is your favorite and why?
Captain America's shield.
Oh, that's a good one.
Superman's costume.
And
Batman's
Kate.
costume.
What about the lightsaber?
The lightsaber from one of the Star Wars movies.
Snape's wand.
Snape's wand, yeah.
The machete from Jaws.
Oh, machete from Jaws.
Yeah. The Neo's gun from Matrix.
Yeah.
Come on, you're meant to know these, not me.
Yeah. Blades, sword, blades, gun, blades outfit.
Jennifer Lawrence's outfit in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
If you had a favourite though, it would be. Don't think about it. Just answer. Now
probably
go.
The shield.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Hazel. How important are the mechanics of a fight when writing? Do you map them out thinking about the attack and defense specific to different styles, or do you use your own training as a base and build from there?
Both.
Okay.
I use my own. I use what I know, and and it, like, I do see the fights in my head. You have to. For any physical scene where people are even just moving around a room, you have to visualize it. You have to visualize the environments, the surroundings, and what they do. You have to block it out. With fight scenes, it is very easy to write inauthentic fight scene. Read them 1,000 times. Nothing is real. Everything is from watching movies.
Can you give an example of a movie?
I can give a movie.
A movie with the kind of fight scene you're talking about.
No, because I don't want to.
No tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade, as it were.
No.
But you can tell that the writer has seen fight scenes, and then so this is what the character does, and he describes what the character does, how the character moves, but that's not the fight scene. The fight scene isn't the move. The fight scene is the emotion behind the move. It's the panic when something goes wrong. It's the pain of hitting someone, of being hit. It's the fear, and it's the fact that at the same time everything slows down. It all is over in the blink of an eye, and you have to kind of marry the two conflicting ideas, because to be in a fight is to be absolutely terrified and completely panicking and out of your depth and just desperately trying to not die. And that's what you have to convey, not so much the movements. In movements, you can convey that because of any training, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So this is from Abby in Liverpool. I just wanted to say I started reading Skulduggery Pleasant when I was in year 7, 2010, and still read and reread them now at the age of 22. You and your books have saved me when I was at one of my lowest points and have inspired me to start writing my own stories. So for all that, I just want to say thank you. My question is, what advice do you have for new writers that you wish someone had told you before you started writing?
The whole idea, and someone did tell me this, but I wish they had explained it. And actually, I don't think anyone told me this, but this was the most obvious and most oft repeated bit of advice. Write what you know. And I took that very literally when I was younger. And I thought, oh, but that sucks, because that just means I can only write about what it's like to be me, a dude, a cishet.
Cishet.
Cishet. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. Okay. Cishet.
Cisgendered. Hetero. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I prefer cishet.
Oh. Sounds fancy, doesn't it?
Okay.
You're so cute.
Yeah, okay, so I was that, right? Okay, so I can only write about me working on a farm, as I was at the time, on the family farm, wanting to be a writer. I can't write about anything else, but that's not what it means. Write what you know is, it means no matter what outlandish plot or character you are writing, whether it's a skeleton detective or an alien fish, you have to write what you know. You have to write from the heart. You have to share a bit of yourself, a bit of your own honesty, imbue the character, imbue the story with a bit of your own honesty, a sliver of your own little soul. Just be honest. Just moments of honesty, moments of emotional honesty is all a reader is looking for, to hook on, to accept that a character on the page is real. So write what you know is simultaneously the worst bit of advice and also the best bit of advice.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, this is from Antonio Zena. What's your favorite book series other than your own two?
I don't know if I have a favorite book series. I have favorite authors. Like I love the Harry Potter books. The books, the characters are wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
No matter what else has happened since they were published, those books are wonderfully inclusive. And yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite series. I have favorite authors.
Go on. What are they?
Like Joe Lansdale, Joe Hill, Joe Abercrombie.
A lot of Joes.
A lot of Joes, and a Grady. There's a Grady Hendrix in there as well.
Oh yes.
But for the YA, if you're looking for a YA trilogy, go for maybe the Shattered Sea trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. It's fantasy and it's hilarious and violent and awesome.
Oh, how violent?
It's very great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Adam in Edinburgh. So far, I'm loving phase 2. Interested to find out if you always had a second phase in mind after finishing book 9.
Yes, by the time I got to book 9, definitely. I had most of phase 2 planned out. Yeah, it wasn't always that way. By the time I, starting off, there was always only 9 books, but then it expanded. That's what happens.
So did you get to like book 9 and realize, oh wait, it's not over yet, I haven't done everything?
Got to books about 7, I think.
Okay.
And I realized, no, I could end it at book 9, but I'd have to squash everything down, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to give because the more I was writing, the more the ideas found their space, and a lot of the time the space was bigger than I had intended.
With most of your writing.
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay, this is from Jake in Cheltenham. What's your favourite type of cheese?
Cheddar, old school.
Jake,
old school,
I like your style.
Old school, yeah.
Really? Cheddar all the way?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, cheddar.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is from CJ. Do you have any book festivals or personal appearances penciled in for this year, and any virtual appearances at the Edinburgh Book Festival?
No personal appearances this year. No, I don't think anyone will be having any, to be honest. Virtual stuff, not that I've heard, but you know, on one level, this is awful for promotion and tours because you don't get to meet anyone. On another level, this is an hour out of my day, you know, that's all. And I'm doing other stuff. I'm writing, I'm going for walks, I'm living my life.
Petting the dog.
So I can do more of them, but I don't get to meet the readers. So it's kind of a mixed blessing. Okay, page 2, we have half an hour. So we're gonna really go through these, just get to the questions and blam.
Would a shunter be able to shunt into the Demon Road universe and meet Amber Lamont? Will we ever meet another person who is a descendant of the ancients? And will they have non-standard magical powers?
Yes, a shunter could shunt into the Demon Road universe. Yes.
And will we ever meet someone else who is a descendant of the ancients? And would they have? I'm
not going to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Would they have non-standard magical powers?
Val is unique, and her circumstances are unique. The only reason she's like this is because of what has happened to her in the latter half of phase 1. Not everyone, even of the same bloodline, is going to have the same experience. So it's unlikely that the outcome will be the same.
Okay, this is from Spencer. He says, "Hi Derek, love your work. After the current series ends, do you plan to write any more in the Skullduggery present universe? Would you ever consider writing a prequel? If so, when would that be set?"
No prequels. No prequels. No prequels.
Why no prequels?
I don't like prequels. You already know who lives and dies. I would have to introduce new characters that you've never heard of, and because you've never heard of them, you can guess that they don't survive. So that's no fun. I like to kill people. So yeah, and as for after the series ends, do you plan on writing any more? I've learned in phase 1, never say never. So I'm not going to say no. Well, yeah, so that's it.
Okay. This is from Amy. When's the movie?
We're trying our best, Amy. Trying our best. No guarantee it'll ever get made, but yeah, we are trying. We've come very close, but we've always veered away at the last moment. Movies.
Amy would also like to know, if you chose one movie or franchise to have remade, what would it be and why?
Wow.
I know, great question.
Wow.
Yeah.
One franchise or
one movie or franchise
to have remade.
Yeah.
Well,
I imagine you get to be in control of it because you're remaking it.
Well, I wouldn't go then for one of my favorites. I'd go for a movie that
perhaps wasn't
has
some
wasted,
of its parts.
yeah, that had potential, but God, I don't know. I don't know actually. Yeah, don't know.
Also from Amy, what car did Skulduggery have before the Bentley?
I don't know. We got the Bentley in '54.
What about like a Rolls Royce Wraith?
Ooh, possibly, maybe from the 30s.
Yeah. Or a hot air balloon.
A zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
He feels so entitled on that.
Yeah, that's what he had. He rode a zeppelin.
Yeah. Right.
Not practical, but cool.
But flashy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Cat. Now I'm going to assume that this is from an actual cat.
Hello,
and
Kitty.
not just a person named Cat.
Hello, Kitty.
So, over the course of the series, there's been a lot of foreshadowing of events, items, and characters who appear later in the series. Which of these is your favourite? What moment made you cackle gleefully as you wrote it, knowing your readers wouldn't understand for at least another 3 months?
Oh my God.
Oh, spoilers.
I don't know, because as you say, Kat, there are a lot of I don't even know if it's traditional foreshadowing. I do succumb to the temptation. I'm not the biggest fan of foreshadowing because that was rammed down my throat in school. Where this is foreshadowing, this is Dickens, this is Shakespeare, whatever, doing the foreshadowing thing, and it struck me as too self-indulgent. But what I do is I will mention a character or an event or an object, and then have them appear in a few books down the line. That's not technically foreshadowing because it's a conscious thing. It is telling the reader that this person exists, and if you stick around enough, you will actually meet them. Whereas foreshadowing is like in Star Wars, where Obi-Wan goes, "Oh, Anakin, you'll be the death of me." Don't say that, Master. I'm acting. It's.
I love it when you talk Star Wars. I really do.
Nerd. Next question.
Okay, this is from Sammy in Chippenham. What were your inspirations to start this wonderful series?
Detective movies, private eye movies, black and white ones, screwball comedies, black and white ones, anything with Cary Grant, with either of the Hepburns, with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Add my love of horror, my love of science fiction, my love of comics, to that idea of a private eye in the suit with the gun and the car, the fast talking. That's my inspiration. When I came up with Skullduggery, I realized, oh my God, I get to do all the stuff that I've always loved in one series of books. Excellent.
Daisy would like to know, is there any Skullduggery Pleasant merch?
There will be.
Oh.
Well, as in, because some of you guys have the key rings on the way. Mm-hmm. Some of you have signed up for this particular event. So there are the key rings, and we're looking into other stuff. For years, I've wanted merchandise, and I always kind of assumed that I would just leave it up to other people. And then just a few weeks ago, we were talking about it, and as gifts and stuff. And my publishers go, well, I mean, if you want to take care of this, Derek, then absolutely. And I like, what? I can do this. I can. Oh my God!
What would you make?
Everything. It would be very, very limited. It would be very, very basic. There would be no action figures for a few years, I reckon.
What about plushies?
I would love plushies and little heads. What are they called? Little.
What, like the U2s?
Yeah, little
pop
U2s? Sock.
Oh, the pop. No, the. Oh, what are they called? Funko Pop.
Funko Pop.
What are they called?
So
okay.
Plushies.
Funko
Pops.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Aiden.
Oh, your name disappeared too quickly.
Everyone's just
pop vinyl.
Pop vinyl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That would be very cool.
Punk
Okay, I think we're making up words now. Okay.
Okay, sorry,
right.
go on.
Okay, Megan in Nottingham asks, can a sorcerer with multiple personality disorder, like in the movie Split, have multiple disciplines? That is the best question I've ever heard. That is great.
No.
Okay, just shoot me down.
Sorry, no.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
No. No.
Why not?
Because they're unfortunately all confined to the same body.
That didn't seem to make a difference in Split.
Well, why don't you,
right? Okay.
You go and go out with Split them?
Okay. Let's see. Megan also says, will you ever bring back the monster hunters?
Yes. Don't know how, where, or when. Obviously, probably the next book.
Maybe as a short story in the future?
Maybe, yeah. Just, I don't know. It depends if they survive book 15.
Why have you got to say that? Why did you say that?
Because it's fine.
Yeah, for you, not for anyone else.
That's what makes it funny.
Oh, I'm so funny.
Okay.
Right. Georgia says, no question, but I wanted to say to Derek, thank you. My 14-year-old autistic son has had a tough time with bullying, anxiety, and depression. He found Skullduggery pleasant, and the diversity of the characters, their flaws, and their continued struggle to do the right thing, along with the magic and fantasy, took him out of his own narrow world and made him laugh again. His sense of humour seems to be similar to Derek's or Skullduggery's. He has read all the books many, many times. I've read them all too, to be able to discuss them with my son. I hope my son will join the event with me, but he has huge social anxiety, so will not want to be seen or heard. It will mean the world to him to hear Derek talk about the books and how difference is brilliant.
That is so cool. That's utterly cool. You know, when you start a series, when you write a book, all you want to do is tell the story and, you know, get to know the characters. You have no idea the difference it can make to people of all kinds. I mean, when I mentioned that in one of the books, I mentioned that Ed Tanith was bisexual. Actually came out and said it. Like now, it's, you know, everyone is pansexual, but that was the first time that I said, well, you know, I'm not going to imply it anymore. I'm just gonna, you know, say it. But the amount of people who came up to me in signing queues in the next book over after they'd read this, the amount of people who came up and said, you know, it actually means a whole lot that, you know, this character is this way. It blew my mind, the idea that I could just write, you know, a character and give the character an attribute, and I have no idea what it means. I have a, what is she, 11?
Is who 11?
Emily. 11? Is she 10 or 11?
Emily, your niece, is 11.
11, yeah. Yes. I have an 11-year-old autistic niece. And so, you know, the idea that someone out there who is on the spectrum, you know, just not neurotypical, could find a home in these books with these characters. It makes me indescribably happy. So
that is really cool.
To your son, thank you so much for reading.
And hello from us.
Hello from us.
And the dog who's over there somewhere.
Yes,
and
indeed.
The cat.
Yeah, thank you very much. In a very low-key way, thank you very much for reading, and it means a lot to me. So thank you. You make me very happy.
Okay, this is from Catherine. She says, would you consider creating a spin-off of the Skullduggery Pleasant series where it focuses on some of the other characters?
Possibly, Catherine. I don't know if it would be a long spin-off. I'm full of possibilities. I don't know which ones will stick. I don't know which ones, because the danger is that after Skullduggery ends and I go on to write whatever it is I'm writing next, I might enjoy that just as much as I enjoy writing Skullduggery, and that might send me off on a whole other avenue. I got kind of lucky with Demon Road because Demon Road was written in such a short space of time.
6 months between each book.
And it was chaos, and it was all stress all the time. Didn't have time to check anything, didn't have time to rethink anything, just, you know, whatever went down the page made it to the book. The good thing about that is that after Demon Road, I mean, as much fun as I had writing it, and as much fun as the books are, is a huge element that wasn't particularly enjoyable. So I took a break from Skullduggery to do that, and because it didn't give me the same kind of joy that Skullduggery does, I leapt back into Skullduggery. So, but the danger is I might enjoy the next thing I do too much to leave. So, I don't know. Hey.
You never know.
Okay.
The world is your oyster, Derek.
The world is an oyster.
No, well, yeah, close enough. Well done. Okay, so Bethany says, how did you decide where each cradle of magic is?
It had to be Ireland's because obviously, and then I just went for the two kind of cultures that exist today and are very old. So the Aboriginal culture in Australia, and obviously Africa. It has to be Africa because the birthplace of humanity. And I wanted to take things away from, you know, New York or London or, you know, all the...
What's wrong with London?
Well, you know, you've had your moment. And I wanted to share out the joy to other places who don't get the spotlight as much.
Okay. Why did Valkyrie go to Haida in Colorado as to say like rural Canada or Mongolia or like the swamps of Louisiana? The swamps of Louisiana.
Wow.
Bit
too swampy, bit too many mosquitoes.
Or alligators, whichever one is.
I think Valkyrie suits the snow because she's a hardy girl. I can see her fixing fence posts. You know, I can see her on a ranch, just nothing around her, just her wallowing in her solitude. And a friend of mine.
That sounds so similar.
Yes. Yes.
Who could we be talking about?
And then a friend of mine, Alex Barkley, she's a crime writer. One of her series is set in Colorado, and so that was just on my mind. So yep, Colorado.
Okay, what kind of research did you do to be able to depict Valkyrie's PTSD so well?
I talked to people with issues.
Why you look at me like that? Cheek on it, the absolute cheek.
You know, I'm a very well-ordered person. I'm very well put together.
How nice for you.
Mentally.
Wow.
I'm strong like bull. But so I needed someone a little bit more fragile than, a little bit more open and sensitive, who's been through things that I haven't. So, because I'm me. I'm indestructible. Not everyone is. So yeah. So I mean, I did to get to the point where Valkyrie's PTSD was resolved. It can never be resolved, but to get to that point, I spoke to a psychologist. I asked him, how do you do it? How would Skulduggery handle this? And he goes, well, the best thing to do is to get them to talk about it, and to get them to talk about it, and to get them to talk about it. The more they talk about it, the more they will acclimatize to their own experience, and the trauma will seep into everyday life, not in a bad way, in I'm dealing with this kind of way. So I spoke to an expert, and then I listened to those people around me who have been, and were going through stuff. As a writer, you can do all the research in the world, but if you don't listen to the people around you, then you are missing a trick.
And branching off from that, this person also asked, did Skulduggery have a similar period of mental, emotional, and social collapse before the readers got to meet him?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that he went off the rails.
Well, he's been alive for 400 years.
400 and... Oh, God, I worked this out.
Oh, go on, try.
No. Yes, he did. I was thinking the other day in short stories or flashbacks, how close would I ever go to his moment of skeletization, where he became a skeleton. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I realized not close at all. I don't want the reader to see him angry about it. I don't want the reader to see him adjusting to life as a skeleton.
See, I would love that.
Yeah, I that would demystify him. So, but because of that, that got me thinking, well, how long did it take for him to come to terms with it? And a while. He was beyond furious. He had rage issues.
Furious at what had happened, or furious about the way he'd been brought back?
What had happened.
Okay.
He saw his return as a chance for revenge, which he embraced. So yeah. Yes.
Skulduggery kind of had a midlife crisis in Dark Days when he was brought back.
Yeah. He went a bit.
Yeah. Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Okay, so this is from Darcy. How have you kept motivation for so long, since it's been around since 2007?
I've been enjoying it every moment since then. I understand the question entirely, because when I planned phase one, which I thought would be the entire thing, I planned 9 books. I said, by the end of 9 books, I'm going to be running for the hills. That's not how it worked out. I've written Dead or Alive with as much fun, enthusiasm, and it's been as much of a thrill as it was to write the first book. So I don't need to work at it. I don't need to find the enthusiasm. It's just there.
Okay, very good. Connor says, is Valkyrie somehow a descendant? I am not reading that because it may give away spoilers.
Yes.
That start at book 1.
Yes.
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 So Rachel says.
Sorry, Connor.
Rachel says, Kenneth is able to both shift her sense of gravity and unlock doors as an adept. I was wondering what links these two abilities to make it possible for her to do both. Also, how did you come up with the idea of her being able to do both things?
I'll do the second part first. I needed her to. That's it. I needed her to do both things. At the time, my rules weren't as concrete as they are now. So I said, okay, well, they can do one main thing and one small thing. And I did, in my head, I thought I had written it down, but I haven't been able to find it since. I had come up with a scientific reason why the two are connected, but I can't think what it is now. But yeah, I needed her to do two things. And as you can tell in the book since then, that idea hasn't really returned.
No, she was like the only one with this.
Yeah, with this dual, apart from the magically ambidextrous.
So is that what she is, magically ambidextrous?
I suppose I could explain it so that she's a little bit ambidextrous.
Okay.
So there you go. That's your.
Ta-da! There's your answer. Yeah. Okay. Christian literally just says writing tips! Exclamation point.
Well, Kristen. Or
Christian.
Well, with a K. So Christian. Christian.
Answer the question.
Chris. Hey, Chris. Writing tips. Be honest. As I said earlier, emotional honesty is the key to writing. In everything that I write now, I understand it, but early on, my agent would always be at, no matter what I wrote, she would always, remind me about emotional honesty. And that's just you, the writer, being emotionally honest. And it sounds kind of abstract, but it's just being you. It's being a genuine person and treating your characters like they're genuine people and not allowing them to react in a certain way that you need for your plot to go to the next stage of story. No, that's obvious and that's horrible. And the reader can recognize this. The character has to react believably in all situations. And if it doesn't suit your story, change the story.
People are noticing the cat in the background. Yes, there she is. That's Lorelei over there. Very good. Okay, so Alina from Cardiff says, have you ever thought about turning the Skullduggery books into graphic novels?
Yes. Oh, now that Dead or Alive is out, we can talk a little bit about the grimoire.
Oh.
The grimoire, we're going to have art in the grimoire. Most of them are like portraits from various artists.
Tom Percival?
Tom is also contributing. He can't do it all because he's way too busy. Yes, there will be also at least a few pages of a Skulduggery graphic novel within the grimoire. I think there's 10 pages, 10 or 12 pages of an actual Skulduggery comic in the grimoire.
It's gonna be so good.
And I've seen the pages and they are
good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
They are gorgeous. They are now making me think, okay, the Skulduggery could really work as a graphic novel.
It really could.
So
Skulduggery comics.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Now they wouldn't be adaptations of the books. Boring. Brand new story. So, I suppose an avenue to go down, maybe this could get through some of the whole prequel stuff or the flashback stuff.
Or Dead Men stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested in maybe telling some stories that I wouldn't be interested in prose. I'd be interested in telling them maybe in a graphic novel.
That'd be great. Or Monster Hunters comic books.
That would be cool.
That would be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Okay, good
So,
idea.
yeah, that was an exclusive
Alina.
for this event. Yeah.
Okay, Julia from Scotland says, what is your favourite part of writing in general and in the Skulduggery universe? And where did all the new powers come from in the later books?
Favorite part of
Writing.
writing in general is.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
No, you don't.
I do.
It's the bit. I don't know. Daydreaming is a huge.
I knew you were going to say that.
Part of it. I do. There are writers who don't like writing. There are writers who don't like to be writing. I like writing. I really do. I love writing. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't mind pre-writing either, pre-writing or editing. It's still fun, but the lovely part of the job is when you're daydreaming ahead of time, when you're out for walks or playing video games or reading books and watching movies, and you stop and you go, wait a second, that gives me an idea for, it's daydreaming. A writer's job is to put their daydreams on the page, and so much fun.
And where did the ideas for the powers in the later books come from?
Oh, especially with the neoterics. Yeah, that came about because I wanted to introduce the idea of the neoterics who would appear in phase 2. I wanted to introduce the idea in phase 1. So hence the flash forward to Valkyrie in Colorado against Cadaverous. And I kind of saw the neoterics as horror movie bad guys, because Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, they all have their thing, their power. And I thought the neoterics needn't be constrained by my rules. Their twisted minds, in most cases, results in their natural magic being warped to operate in one way. So yeah, I just see them as horror villains.
James from Barnstaple says, correct me because I know I said that wrong, says, will there ever be a film series
film, if the film ever does?
You'd be more geared towards live action?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are trying. Now, I understand that we are past 7 o'clock. How many more we have?
We have this many questions.
We have, okay, skim through them, go.
Okay.
Quick fire.
Is there anything you've ever cut out from a book because it wasn't working?
Yes, many things. And the important thing is not to throw it away. So I cut out characters and conversations, and if it isn't working in one book, it might work in another. So yeah, I do it all the time. I have a folder, and nothing is wasted. You should, as a writer, cannibalize the stuff that doesn't work.
Are there any characters that you want to include but can't for whatever reasons? And are there any based on your pets?
No.
To both?
No to both. Well, Xena is based on Ali, my old German shepherd. But no characters that I wanted to introduce, but couldn't, because I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. Yeah.
Okay, Peyton asks, it's been a long time since the first Skullduggery book was released. Why do you think Skullduggery sticks with fans for such a long time, even as they age?
I don't really know. Obviously, he's cool. He's funny. As in, he looks cool. He looks, immediately identifiable. He's funny. He's arrogant. He's smart. He's sarcastic, which resonates on many levels with many people. But I don't know. I've tried in every single book not to talk down to anyone. So you will find these books read by 80-year-olds and 8-year-olds, and up and down and in between. So maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe, you know, you've got to respect your audience, which is something I learned teaching martial arts. You've got to respect young people, because they're not stupid. They're as smart and as funny and as worthwhile individuals as any of your friends. And I just kept that idea and I put it into writing. So maybe something to do with that. And then there's sarcasm.
Your cast of characters is incredibly socially diverse LGBTQ characters. What inspired you to do this?
The fact that more and more people coming up to me in signing cues were identifying as LGBTQ plus. I realized that is the audience. And when you realize that, and also when you know, you start seeing people in the cues who don't look like you, who aren't as white as you are remotely, and you go, wow, I really have a pretty white cast here, and a pretty yeah, once you realize that your audience is diverse, you can either ignore it, which is actually perfectly fine. You can ignore it because your world and your characters are yours alone, and you will tell your story and everyone will enjoy it and love it. Or you can recognize that your audience is diverse and you can make the decision that, you know, there's no reason why my cast has to be so homogenous. You introduce more people from different backgrounds with different philosophies and life experiences, and because it's really nice to see yourself in a book, and it's really nice to see yourself recognized in a book that you love.
Very validating.
Yeah, I think that's something that became hugely important.
Everyone wants to be seen.
Yeah, and I get to see myself in everything because, you know, I'm awesome. But not everyone does, and so yeah.
Will the last book be a bloodbath? Ugh, don't grin like that.
Blood? Some blood.
They said, or a bone bath.
Some blood will be spilled.
Oh, of course.
But most of the deaths won't involve blood at all.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. I don't think that answer was better.
No,
yikes is right. There's a lot of yikes in the chat. Yeah.
No.
no. Everyone yikes.
Yeah, that's good example. Yeah.
It's just like Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Where you slept for too long.
No, Evil
Dead 3. Sorry, yeah.
I slept too long.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on.
What made you start writing the books? Which character do you identify with, Skulduggery or Valkyrie or someone else?
What made me start to write the books, Skulduggery did himself, is the character appeared in my head. That's it. I was writing the books.
Reminded to be written about?
You did. Now, as for which character do I identify with?
Yes.
I used to. Okay, with all the Skulduggery books, the character I identify most with is Omen, because he's very much like I was at that age.
Omen is great.
He's adorable, like
and
me.
Lovable.
I was adorable and lovable.
You're still adorable and lovable.
Yeah. So Omen is kind of like me when I was his age. I wish I could say Skulduggery, but it's just too thin.
I think you're like Skulduggery.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish that could be like Valkyrie.
Why?
She's strong.
Because of the lightning?
Not just the lightning.
I would like the lightning. Cool. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Okay, what was your eureka moment when first coming up with the series?
Oh, his name. Because that's Skulduggery Pleasant popped in there. And I just stopped. I was in the middle of the room and I stopped, and Skulduggery Pleasant, 2 words, 1 name in my head, and I realized that this is different. This is something cool. So yeah, that was it.
Okay. If you weren't a writer, what would you be?
Trying to be a writer. I'm incapable of taking anything seriously. I have finally, with writing, I finally found something to focus on and to concentrate on. But if I didn't have Skulduggery, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. The only thing I am qualified for is I'm a qualified bodyguard. That's really, but bodyguard
just
is
like
so
the
boring.
movie.
Just like the movie. I'm just like
You're just like Kevin Costner.
Just like
Yeah.
Dear Die Hard.
Oh, no. Okay, we've reached our final question. Okay, this is from Ryan. How do you think up the names, and do you have any tips for thinking up names?
Not easy, Ryan. The names, as I said, a few of them popped in early and popped in without any prompting. I have a really old Thesaurus.
Really old.
It's falling apart. And I have a book of very old names, and I have I have books on words, and I take words and I change them, or I just take the word. It's a kind of a invisible chemistry. To come up with a name for a character, especially a sorcerer, and not have it be stupid. Like in one of the last books, Mellifluous, Mellifluous Golding. Again, her name just spoke to me. There are plenty of words out there that would make amazing names.
Like synecdoche.
Very good, you got it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I've been practicing.
Yeah. So yeah. And that's it. Happy birthday.
Yes. Before we go, we just want to say happy birthday to Christian Greenslade, who is turning 24 on April 13th.
Is that the same Christian who asked the question?
Well, I don't know.
It's spelled the same.
It is spelled the same, but there's more than one Christian in this world.
Well, you might say that, but to me, there's only one. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you, everyone, for sending. We have more questions that popped in this
afternoon. There he is, Christian. He just popped up there saying thank you.
It's a case where it might
be no. The wife got in contact with me and said it was her husband. So.
But is the wife Christian or?
No. The wife. This isn't important.
I think it's very important.
I don't think it's important at all.
Fine, whatever. Yes, we don't have time to do the rest of the questions. We have maybe
happy birthday tomorrow, Harry
10
James.
more. But I will answer them on Twitter this evening or tomorrow. Anything we didn't answer here, I'll answer.
Happy birthday, John. It's your birthday too.
And
happy birthday, Rachel. Oh my God, this will go on for a while.
So many people with the birthdays. You guys have been awesome. I assume, I don't know, you might have been all falling asleep, apart from the weirdos who were constantly writing with your chatting. What? Your comments. So
yes.
It's my birthday in 7 months.
Oh, happy birthday 7 months.
Does not count. No. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for for buying the book.
Thank you to Waterstones and HarperCollins for having us and for organising this. We
Thank
really
you
appreciate
for my
it.
dog for stopping with the biting. That was getting actually painful.
Thank you to the cat in the back that has been keeping an eye on us.
And
that's it.
Thank you to you.
You're welcome.
Laura.
You're
Laura
welcome.
Katie.
And thank you to you.
Yes, finally someone said it.
Derek Landy.